My beloved child, I speak to you now because something real has been standing before you longer than you realize. Not imagined, not symbolic, not distant. It has been waiting quietly, patiently, while your heart learned how to hear me. And today, your ears are closer than they have ever been. You think delays mean denial. You think silence means absence. But I tell you this with my full authority and my deepest care for you. What you have been asking for was never locked away. It has been open. And it has been waiting for you to arrive as the person you are becoming. I have watched you walk past the door again and again. Not because you were careless, but because you were wounded. You kept telling yourself, if it were meant for me, it would be louder. Yet some of my greatest gifts do not shout. They wait. They wait until your hands stop shaking. They wait until your eyes learn to see beyond fear. They wait until you are ready to open quickly, without second guessing, without retreating. Listen closely. There is a moment approaching where hesitation will cost you more than courage ever did. I am not saying this to rush you. I am saying this to awaken you. Because the opportunity before you is not ordinary. It is time-sensitive. And it responds to obedience, not comfort. You have been sensing it already. That pull in your spirit. That sudden urgency you couldn't explain. That quiet pressure to move, to speak, to act, even when logic told you to wait. That was not anxiety. That was alignment beginning to form. I did not bring you this far to leave you guessing. I am preparing you to recognize what is true when it appears suddenly. Some doors open slowly. This one opens quickly. And when it does, you will not have the luxury of long debates with fear. You will need clarity. You will need trust. You will need to remember my voice in this moment. Do not underestimate how close you are. What you thought was almost is now at hand. What you believed required years is now responding to readiness. I have been rearranging things you could not see, conversations, timings, hearts, even resistance, so that when the moment arrives, it will feel shocking, undeniable, and unmistakably mine. But here is the truth that few are told. Not everyone recognizes the opening when it comes. Some hesitate because it feels too sudden. Some doubt because it feels too good. Some step back because it demands a version of them they have not yet accepted. I do not want that to be you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are positioned. And positioning always precedes revelation. In the days ahead, you will notice doors that were once heavy begin to move with ease. You will sense invitations where there were only walls. When that happens, do not shrink. Do not analyze it to death. Do not ask 10 people for permission. Remember this moment. Remember that I told you it was true. Remember that it was waiting. And remember that when it opens for those who are willing to step forward without fear ruling their breath. There is more unfolding than you can see right now. Stay alert. Stay soft. And above all, stay ready, because what comes next will require a response, not tomorrow, not later, but in the moment your heart recognizes me calling your name again. I see the questions forming in your mind even now, and I am not offended by them. I know the human heart asks before it leaps. But hear me carefully, because what I am revealing now is deeper than the opening itself. The reason this has been waiting for you is not because you were weak before, but because you were still becoming honest with yourself. You prayed for change, yet you were still attached to familiar pain. You asked me to move, yet part of you feared what movement would cost. I never punish honesty. I wait for it. And when your heart finally whispered, "I'm ready even if it's uncomfortable," That is when things began to shift in ways you could not track. Something important is happening beneath the surface of your life. You may not see fireworks. You may not hear thunder. But make no mistake, decisions are being unlocked. Paths are being cleared. Resistance that once felt immovable is losing its grip. This is not coincidence. This is precision. I am teaching you a new way to recognize my work. Before you looked for signs outside of you. Now I am sharpening what happens within you. That sudden calm in moments that used to overwhelm you. That is preparation. That quiet confidence rising without explanation. That is alignment. I am not just opening a door for you. I am changing how you walk through doors forever. Here is something specific you must understand now. What is coming will not arrive wrapped in familiarity. It will feel unfamiliar, even slightly intimidating, because it belongs to a future version of you. If you wait to feel fully ready, you will miss the timing. Readiness is not the absence of fear. Readiness is choosing trust while fear still whispers. You have outgrown some spaces, some conversations, some versions of yourself, but you kept returning out of loyalty to the past. I am gently but firmly breaking that pattern. The reason you have felt restless is because your spirit knows it is time to move forward, not sideways, not backward. Pay attention in the coming moments. I will speak through unexpected clarity, through sudden opportunities, through a sentence someone says that lands too deeply to ignore. When that happens, do not dismiss it as random. I do not waste moments, and I do not tease my children with false hope. This next opening will test something important in you, your willingness to act without full visibility. You will not have every detail. You will not have every answer, but you will have me. And that has always been enough, even when you doubted it. I am asking you to release the habit of waiting for reassurance from people who cannot see what I am building through you. Some confirmations are meant to come after obedience, not before. This is one of them. You have been stronger than you realize, and more prepared than you believe. The reason this feels intense is because it matters. The reason it feels urgent is because it is a line. And the reason it feels different from anything before is because it is not repeating your past, it is interrupting it. Do not look back and measure yourself by who you used to be. Look forward and step as the one you are becoming. What I am about to reveal next will connect everything you have endured, everything you questioned, and everything you thought was wasted time. Nothing was wasted. Not a tear. Not a delay. Not a single quiet night when you wondered if I was listening. I was listening. I was working. And I am not finished yet. There is a shift happening now that you cannot reverse, even if you tried. Not because you are trapped, but because you are finally aligned. Once truth settles into your spirit, pretending no longer works. You have crossed an internal line, and your soul knows it. I need you to understand this clearly. What is unfolding next will ask you to choose differently than you ever have before. Not louder, not harder, but truer. You are not being called to prove anything anymore. You are being called to agree with what I have already declared over you. For a long time, you measured progress by struggle. If it was hard, you assumed it was meaningful. If it felt heavy, you believed it was holy. But I am teaching you a deeper wisdom now. Some of my greatest moves come with peace, not pressure. Ease does not mean it is insignificant. Sometimes ease means resistance has finally been removed. You are about to encounter moments where things fall into place faster than expected. Conversations will shift tone. Delays will dissolve. Answers will come without force. When this happens, do not question whether you deserve it. You do. You have paid the price in patience, endurance, and unseen faith. I know part of you still braces for disappointment. That reflex was learned, not born in you. And I am healing it. You do not need to stay guarded against blessings. You do not need to flinch when good arrives. Let yourself receive without suspicion. Fear is something I have not told you before. The speed of what is coming depends on your willingness to release control. You have been trying to manage outcomes to protect yourself from pain. I understand why. But protection has turned into limitation. Trust will now take you further than strategy ever could. Watch how quickly clarity comes when you stop arguing with what your spirit already knows. Watch how doors respond when you stop knocking timidly and begin walking with quiet authority. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into alignment, catching up with timing. There will be a moment, subtle, almost ordinary, where you realize something inside you has settled. That is when movement begins. Do not wait for drama. Do not wait for a sign that shakes the ground. I often move in whispers when the heart is finally listening. You are not late to this season. You arrived exactly when you needed to be able to handle it without losing yourself. The version of you from before could not carry what I am handing you now. But this you can. I want you to stop rehearsing what could go wrong. That habit is no longer serving you. Instead, begin noticing how often things are quietly working in your favor. That is not luck. That is alignment accelerating. Soon, you will be faced with a simple choice that carries significant weight. It will not look dramatic. Others may not even notice it. But your response will determine the direction of the next chapter of your life. Choose with trust, not fear. Choose movement over comfort. Choose truth over familiarity. I am closer than you think, more involved than you assume, and deeply invested in what is about to unfold through you. You do not pull back now. You are standing at the edge of something real, something honest, something that has been waiting patiently for you to finally see yourself the way I have always seen you. Stay present. Stay listening. Because what I reveal next will make this moment make sense in ways you have never imagined. Something has been quietly rearranging itself around you, and now I will tell you why. It was never just about the door, the moment, or the opportunity. It was about who you would become when you realized you no longer needed permission to walk forward. You have been waiting for certainty, but I have been waiting for consent. Not consent from the world, not approval from people. Consent from you, the deep, inner yes that says, I trust you even if I don't see the whole picture. That yes is forming now. I can feel it settling into your spirit. What is true is closer than you think. It is not hidden across distance. It is standing right in front of you, disguised as an ordinary decision. That is how I work when something is sacred. I do not announce it with noise. I invite you with recognition. There will be a moment very soon when you feel a pull to act quickly, even though your mind will try to slow you down. This is important. Do not confuse speed with recklessness. When something aligns with truth, it does not need convincing. It resonates. It settles. It feels clear even if it feels bold. You are stepping into a season where hesitation will feel heavier than action. That is new for you. Before, action felt risky. And now, delay will feel wrong. That is how you will know you are ready. I want you to release one final thing, the belief that you must fully understand something before you step into it. Understanding often follows obedience, not the other way around. Trust has always been the bridge between where you are and where I am leading you. Pay attention to how your heart responds in the coming days. not your fear, not your past experiences, your heart. I place discernment there for this very moment. When the opening appears, and it will, there will be a brief window where clarity and courage meet. That is your invitation. Do not underestimate how powerful a single decision can be when it is made in alignment with truth. One choice, made without fear, can shift years of stagnation. One step, taken with trust, can unlock momentum you did not know was possible. You have been preparing without realizing it. Every delay strengthened you. Every disappointment refined you. Every quiet season taught you how to listen. Nothing was accidental. Nothing was wasted. You were being shaped for speed with stability. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you to respond. There is a difference. Response is rooted in awareness. Response is calm, focused, and intentional. When the moment comes, you will know it is time, not because you feel pressured, but because you feel clear. And when you move, things will begin to align faster than before. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you stopped resisting what was meant for you. Flow follows agreement. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. Do not allow distractions to dull your awareness now. This is not the time to drift. This is the time to recognize that something true has been waiting patiently, and it is ready to meet you the moment you choose to open. I am with you in this. I have gone before you in this. And what is ahead will confirm everything your spirit has been sensing all along. Remain open. Remain ready. Because what unfolds next will not only change your direction, it will change how you see yourself forever. There is a quiet knowing settling into you now, and I want you to honor it. Not rush past it. Not explain it away. This knowing is not excitement, and it is not fear. It is recognition. It is your spirit remembering something it always knew but could not yet name. You are beginning to realize that what you have been waiting for has also been waiting on you. Not for perfection, not for confidence without cracks, but for willingness without escape routes. I have been watching you loosen your grip on old safety nets, and that matters more than you understand. Let me tell you something gently but truthfully. The reason this moment feels heavier than others is because it carries consequence. Not punishment, impact. What you do next will echo forward. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. Like a river changing its course by choosing a new direction just once. You have spent much of your life preparing for loss, even when I was preparing you for gain. That habit ends here. You do not need to brace yourself anymore. You need to receive yourself as someone capable of stewarding what is opening. There is a subtle invitation coming, so subtle that many would overlook it. It will not beg for your attention. It will simply appear, and something in you will stand up straight. Your breathing will slow. Your thoughts will sharpen. That is how you will know it is real. When that moment arrives, you may feel the urge to delay just a little longer. That is the old voice. It sounds responsible, but it is rooted in fear of change. I am telling you now so you can recognize it then. Do not negotiate with what you already know is true. You are not being pushed into something unsafe. You are being pulled into something aligned. There is a difference. Force drains you. Alignment strengthens you, even when it stretches you. You have asked me before, why now? And the answer is simple. Because now, you will not abandon yourself halfway through. Now, you will not run at the first sign of uncertainty. And now, you will stay present instead of disappearing when things become real. This is maturity. This is readiness. And it did not come overnight. I need you to stop comparing this moment to past ones that fell apart. Those were lessons, not failures. They taught you discernment. They taught you boundaries. They taught you how to hear my voice beneath noise. Without those seasons, this one would overwhelm you. What is opening is true, not exaggerated, not imagined. True. And truth carries weight. It asks for integrity. It asks for follow-through. It asks you to live at the level you once only hoped for. You will notice that some people will not understand your next move. Do not let that trouble you. They are responding to who you were, not who you are becoming. You do not owe everyone access to your clarity. Keep your heart quiet. Keep your focus narrow. This is not the season to explain everything. This is the season to walk. Soon, action will feel natural instead of forced. Momentum will build without panic. And you will look back and realize that the waiting did not weaken you. It trained you. Stay aware. Stay honest. Stay brave in small ways. Because the opening you are approaching does not require a leap of faith. It requires a step of trust taken at the exact moment fear tells you to pause. I am here. I have not moved away. And I will not leave you guessing when it matters most. What comes next will confirm what I am telling you now. You feel the knowing settling in you now, and this is where I invite you to move with me. What has been waiting for you is opening, and so is the door for you to help carry this word to others who are still listening in the dark. Like seed released into good soil, what you give in this moment becomes a harvest of awakened hearts, flowing like a river beyond what you can see. You've prayed, "Use me, Lord," and I tell you plainly, this is how I am answering you now. When you sow through Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, or PayPal, the link is waiting for you in the description. You are pouring oil into a fire I am already breathing on. Scripture is alive in this moment. Give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I bless your generosity as a prophetic act that opens heavens over your life, your home, and your future. Do not delay. Step forward now and release what I place in your hand. My beloved child, there is a moment approaching when everything you have sensed will condense into clarity. It will feel quiet on the outside, but inside you, something will click into place with undeniable certainty. This is where understanding replaces waiting. I want you to know this now. What opens next will not need you to chase it. You will recognize it because it meets you where obedience and readiness intersect. You will not feel frantic. You will feel steady. That steadiness is my confirmation. For a long time, you believed that if something were truly meant for you, it would arrive with urgency and pressure. But I am showing you a higher truth. What is truly aligned does not weigh you, it positions you. It invites you to step forward with calm authority, not with desperation. You are about to notice how differently you respond to moments that once would have shaken you. Situations that used to trigger doubt will now meet discernment instead. This is not coincidence. This is growth revealing itself in real time. There is something important I must tell you plainly. The opening you are moving toward will ask you to leave behind a version of yourself that survived by shrinking. That version protected you when you needed it. Honor it, but do not bring it with you. Where you are going, shrinking will no longer keep you safe. Truth will. You may feel a subtle grief for what you are releasing. That is normal. Even good growth involves letting go. But do not mistake grief for regret. You are not losing something valuable. You are shedding what no longer fits who you are becoming. Pay close attention to your inner responses in the coming days. You will feel a growing intolerance for what drains you. Conversations that once felt normal will begin to feel heavy. Obligations that are not aligned will feel louder. This is not irritation. It is clarity refining your choices. I am simplifying your path now, not by removing responsibility, but by removing confusion. When something is not for you, you will sense it quickly. When something is aligned, you will feel peace even before you understand it. Trust that peace is not passivity, is precision. There will be a moment when you realize you are no longer asking, "What if this fails?" Instead, you will ask, "What if I don't move?" That shift matters. It means fear is losing its authority over your decisions. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to be faithful to what you know, to what you have learned, and to the truth rising within you now. Faithfulness in small moments prepares you for clarity in big ones. Do not be surprised if the timing feels sudden. Sudden does not mean unprepared. It means the preparation is complete. You have already done the internal work. Now life will begin to reflect it. You will not walk alone into what opens next. I will be present in the details, in the pacing, in the confirmations that follow your obedience. Once you move, you will see how quickly things align when resistance is gone. Remain attentive. Remain grounded. You do not need to announce your readiness. Your actions will speak clearly enough. The truth you have been sensing is not fading. It is sharpening. And soon, you will understand why this waiting had an exact end point. What unfolds after this will feel different because you are different. And that difference is the key you have been carrying all along. There is a calm strength rising in you now, and I want you to recognize it. This is not confidence borrowed from circumstances. This is not hope tied to outcomes. This is the quiet power that comes when you finally stop fighting the truth about who you are and where I am leading you. You are beginning to understand that waiting was never about time. It was about agreement. Agreement between what I promised and what you were willing to carry. And now, that agreement is forming without force. You are no longer trying to convince yourself. You are simply aligning. I see how your thoughts have changed. You no longer ask the same questions in the same way. You are not spiraling like before. You are not rehearsing every possible failure. That is because something in you has accepted that you cannot stay where you are and remain whole. Movement is no longer optional. It is necessary. I need you to hear this clearly. The truth that is waiting for you will not chase you forever. Not because I withdraw my goodness, but because moments have timing. And timing responds to courage. The opening you sense is real, but it honors decisiveness. When you step, it responds. When you delay out of fear, it waits, but not endlessly. This is not pressure. This is clarity. You have entered a season where your internal world is finally strong enough to support external change. Before, growth on the outside would have cracked you on the inside. Now you are stable, rooted, aware. That is why things are beginning to move. Do not underestimate how much your awareness matters. I am not leading you blindly. I am inviting you to participate, to choose with me, to walk with me, to trust that even if you do not know every turn ahead, you know enough to take the next step. There will be moments soon when your old instincts try to pull you back into familiar hesitation. When that happens, pause, but do not retreat. Breathe. Listen. Remember how far you have come internally. You are not the same person who used to freeze at crossroads. You are someone who can stand still long enough to hear me clearly, then move with intention. I am not asking you to abandon wisdom. I'm asking you to stop confusing fear with wisdom. Wisdom brings peace even when the choice is bold. Fear brings noise even when the choice is safe. You know the difference now. Trust yourself. Something important will happen after you take the step you have been sensing. Not instantly visible, not loudly announced, but internally, something will settle permanently. You will realize you no longer doubt my guidance the way you once did. That is the real breakthrough. You have spent years learning how to survive uncertainty. Now I am teaching you how to live in trust. Trust does not mean everything goes perfectly. It means you no longer abandon yourself when things stretch you. Watch how your priorities are changing. What once mattered deeply now feels smaller. What once drained you now feels unnecessary. This is not loss. This is refinement. Your life is being simplified so that what is true has room to grow. Stay present in this season. Do not rush ahead mentally. Do not relive old chapters emotionally. This moment deserves your full attention, because the decision that approaches will not just open something externally. It will confirm something internally that you have quietly hoped was real. I am not distant. I am not testing you. I am walking with you through this threshold. And when you move, you will realize that the door was never heavy. It was waiting for you to touch it without fear. Remain steady. Remain honest. And keep your heart open. What is about to meet you will feel familiar in a way you cannot explain, like truth finally catching up with your courage. I am watching you stand closer to the threshold than you have ever been, and I want you to feel the weight of this truth without fear. Once you see clearly, you cannot return to pretending. Awareness changes responsibility, and you are aware now. There is a difference between knowing something is possible and knowing something is meant. You have crossed that difference. What you are sensing is not imagination. It is recognition. Your spirit is responding because it hath been waiting for this alignment longer than your mind remembers. I need you to understand why this moment feels so precise. I did not rush you here. I guided you. Every pause taught you patience. Every disappointment taught you discernment. Every unanswered prayer trained your listening. You are not arriving empty-handed. You are arriving equipped. The truth waiting for you is not dramatic, but it is decisive. It will ask you to commit internally before anything changes externally. That is how real transformation works. When your inner agreement is complete, the outer shift follows naturally. You may feel a strange mix of peace and gravity right now. Peace because you finally recognize where you are going. Gravity because you understand that moving forward will cost you excuses. Lover holy. Do not resist either. I want to speak directly to the part of you that still wonders, what if I fail after all this? Listen carefully. Failure is not what you think it is. Failure is not trying and stumbling. Failure is refusing to move when truth calls you forward. And that is no longer who you are. You have spent enough time observing life from the edges. Enough time preparing without participating. Enough time standing near the door without touching it. This season is not about learning more. It is about responding. There will be no dramatic countdown. No loud signal telling you it is time. Instead, there will be a quiet internal moment where hesitation feels heavier than movement. That is your cue. That is the moment where delay would cost you peace. Do not wait for permission from people who benefit from you staying the same. Some will not understand your clarity because it disrupts their expectations of you. Let them be confused. You do not need to defend alignment. I am strengthening your ability to choose without panic, to move without over-explaining, to trust without rehearsing disaster. These are not small skills. They are signs of maturity. and maturity is what allows blessings to last. Soon, you will notice how quickly things respond once you act. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because resistance is no longer internal. When the inner conflict ends, progress accelerates. I am not asking you to be perfect in what comes next. I am asking you to be present. Present enough to listen. Present enough to adjust. Present enough to stay when things become real. You are not walking into the unknown alone. I am already there. I am already arranging what you cannot see yet. Your responsibility is not to control outcomes, but to stay aligned with truth as it unfolds. This is where many turn back, not because the path is wrong, but because it becomes real. I want you to keep going. Not forcefully, not fearfully, but honestly. Let go of the idea that you must feel completely ready. Readiness has already done its work. What you feel now is transition. And transition always feels unfamiliar right before it becomes home. Hold steady. Stay aware. And when the moment comes that requires movement, do not look for signs to convince you. You already know. And that knowing is the signal you have been waiting for. You are closer now than your thoughts can measure, and I want you to feel the steadiness of this moment. Not excitement, not urgency. Steadiness. This is the ground beneath your feet becoming solid after a long season of shifting. There is something I must reveal to you that changes how you see everything behind you. The waiting you endured was not passive time. It was active shaping. While you thought nothing was happening, I was strengthening your discernment so that when truth appeared, you would recognize it instantly and not confuse it with desire or fear. That is why this moment feels different from past turning points. Before, you moved hoping I was with you. And now, you are moving because you know I am. The difference will carry you further than effort ever could. I see how your heart has grown quieter. Not numb, clear. The noise that once dominated your decisions has lost its authority. You are no longer asking every voice for direction. You are listening for alignment. That is maturity settling in. What comes next will not feel like chaos. It will feel like responsibility. Responsibility to protect your peace. Responsibility to choose integrity when shortcuts appear. Responsibility to continue forward even when the novelty fades. This is where many people stumble, not at the opening, but after it. You are being invited into consistency, not intensity. Into depth, not drama. Into truth that lasts, not moments that impress. And I trust you with this because you have learned the cost of shallow choices. There will be moments ahead when you are tempted to rush simply because things are finally moving. Resist that temptation. Speed without grounding creates instability. I am not calling you to hurry. I am calling you to walk with intention. Notice how your desires are changing. You are no longer drawn to what merely distracts you. You are drawn to what builds you. That shift is not accidental. It is evidence that your inner life is aligning with where you are headed. I want you to understand this clearly. What is waiting for you is not fragile. You will not break it by being human. But it does require honesty. You cannot carry it while pretending. You cannot sustain it while shrinking. You must show up as you are becoming, not as you were. There will be a moment when the path ahead becomes obvious, but it will still require courage to take it. Obvious does not mean easy. It means true. And truth often asks you to release comfort in exchange for fulfillment. I know you still feel the pull of old habits, overthinking, delaying, seeking reassurance. Those habits do not define you anymore. They may knock, but they no longer live inside you. You get to choose differently now. As you move forward, guard your attention. Not everything deserves access to your focus. Not every voice deserves space in your decision-making. Clarity grows where attention is protected. You will soon realize that the door you were waiting to open was never locked from the outside. It was waiting for you to trust yourself enough to turn the handle. That trust is forming now. Do not look for applause. Do not wait for validation. What you are stepping into is not meant to be proven to others before it is lived by you. Let results speak in time. I am proud of the way you stayed when leaving would have been easier. Of the way you listened when noise surrounded you. Of the way you kept your heart soft without becoming naive. Those choices prepared you for what is unfolding. Stay grounded. Stay honest. Stay responsive. Because the next step will not ask you to become someone new. It will ask you to finally live as who you already are. My beloved child, this is where everything comes into focus. Not as a surprise, but as a confirmation. What you are stepping into is not a reward for endurance alone. It is the natural result of alignment finally meeting obedience. You are not arriving here by accident. You are arriving here because you chose truth when it was costly, and trust when it was uncomfortable. I want you to pause with me for a moment and feel this. You are no longer chasing what is meant for you. You are meeting it. The striving has softened. The confusion has thinned. The fear that once spoke the loudest no longer controls the direction of your steps. This is not because life suddenly became simple, but because your heart became steady. What is opening before you now will ask you to live with intention. To wake up aware. To choose daily not from fear of loss, but from confidence in purpose. This is where faith matures, from hoping I will act, to moving because you know I already have. You may still face resistance, but it will not confuse you the way it once did. You will recognize it as noise, not direction. You will no longer mistake discomfort for danger. Growth stretches, but it does not destroy. And I will not lead you where my grace cannot sustain you. There is something sacred about this ending, because it is also a beginning. Not the kind that feels chaotic or uncertain, but the kind that feels grounded. Like finally standing on mind after a long crossing. You are not disoriented. You are oriented. You know where you are. And more importantly, you know who is with you. As you move forward, remember this above all else. You do not need to prove the truth of your life to anyone. You need to live it with integrity. Quiet consistency will speak louder than any explanation. Let your peace be your testimony. Let your obedience be your response. When doubt tries to revisit you, remind yourself of how far you have come internally. Not in achievements, but in awareness. You are not the same person who once begged for signs. You are someone who recognizes my voice even in stillness. I will continue to guide you, but guidance now will feel like partnership. I will nudge, and you will respond. I will speak, and you will listen without panic. This is the relationship you were being prepared for all along. Do not rush the unfolding. Do not cling to the past. Walk forward with humility and confidence held together. When you stumble, you will rise. When you question, you will realign. You are not fragile. You are formed. I bless the choices you are about to make. I bless the clarity you are carrying. I bless the courage that no longer needs noise to exist. And I bless the future you are stepping into, not blindly, but faithfully. What was true has found you. What was waiting has opened. And what unfolds from here will be built on trust, not fear. Rest in that. Walk in that. Live from that place. Amen. You are standing in alignment now, and alignment always carries assignment. What you are living is not just for you. It is meant to be multiplied, sent, and released to souls who are ready to hear my voice through this message. As you give, you step into the flow of my kingdom economy, where rivers never run dry and seed never returns empty. You once asked, "Lord, let my life matter." And I say to you, this moment of generosity is part of your answer. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, or PayPal, the link is in the video description, you become a steward of the fire I am spreading across the earth. My word stands alive over you. Those who sow generously will reap generously, and I mark this giving with favor, peace, and increase. Heaven sees the open hand, and I respond with open doors. Act now, give boldly, and walk forward in the blessing I am releasing. My beloved child, before you leave this sacred moment, I ask you to respond with faith. If this message spoke to you, if you felt the truth of "it's true" and waiting for you open quickly stirring inside your spirit, then use the hype feature right now. Let your hype be a declaration that you recognize the door, that you honor the moment, and that you are not walking past what I have opened for you. When you hype this message, you are saying, "I see it. I receive it. I am ready." And now, I invite you to seal this word with your voice. In the comments, declare something true and alive. Write what you believe is opening for you, or proclaim, "I am ready to open quickly." You not stay silent. When you speak it, you align yourself with it. Let your comment be a witness that this message did not pass you by, but met you exactly where you are. If you desire to keep hearing my voice, if you want to remain where truth is spoken gently but clearly, then subscribe to this channel. This is not just a place for messages. It is a place where I meet you again and again, where clarity replaces confusion, and where waiting turns into movement. Subscribe not out of habit, but out of hunger, so you do not miss the moments I choose to speak directly to you. I am drawing you closer for a reason. Amen.